that was just volume 1 of Texas history with Wendy Davis. Volume 2 is when you're going to elect her to the governor's office. Time and time again, we see these guys trying to rewrite our history. Look what they've been doing with voters' rights, right? Where they're trying to change the voting in this country, where they're trying to turn their back on all the gains that were made. I was out with Congressman Lewis on that march on that bridge that he does every year when he brings people back to that Montgomery Bridge, to that moment when he was on that bridge, and when he got to the end of that bridge and the police didn't protect him, and those guys threw things at him, and they just treated them like they were literally the police, terrorists themselves, throwing things at him. He still has a scar on his forehead. And when I went back to that event this last time, and he brings people, members of Congress all the time, to remember that moment, that white police chief from Montgomery, 48 years later, took off his badge and gave it to Congressman Lewis and apologized for not protecting him 48 years before. So history has a way, no matter how long it takes. Now, I believe that the American people want us to write the next chapter in the history of this nation. A chapter that builds on the future for our children, brimming with prosperity and promise and hope. I believe we can do it. I believe we can overcome the obstructionism of those super PACs. We did it in Minnesota. You can do it in Texas. We can do it by working with some of the more reasonable people on the other side of the aisle to try to get things done in the Congress. And when I say that, I don't mean standing by yourself and in the opposite corner of the boxing ring and throwing punches. What I'm talking about is standing next to someone that you don't always agree with for the betterment of